Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of It Goes Off. I'm Andrew Gage, this is Grantley Bernard, and Grantley, we've had 8 rounds of NBL action, and I think after 8 rounds we've finally got our Final Four, who I believe will finish in the Final Four and see playoff action, and one of those members is the Gold Coast Blaze. They've snuck into the four for the first time this season and are playing some very, very sharp basketball.
They certainly are, and I know we've posed the question previously, you know, are they the real deal or not? But I think we're starting to see that real Gold Coast Blaze that everyone thought they were going to get last year start to emerge finally. And I think by season's end, they are going to be a real tough team to beat. They're going to be a title contender. And
they've won 3 in a row, Grantley, and they've looked very sharp with it. They've got a full 10-deep roster. Everyone gets to play on their roster. They play an up-tempo style of play and an attractive brand of basketball.
They do, and probably a big factor is, you know, the addition of Dries de Leon.
Oh, yes.
You know, who you said they shouldn't have signed.
No, I didn't say that.
They did anyway, and he's been fantastic. You know, and I expect by the end of the season he's going to be in MVP calculations. That's the sort of impact he's had so far. So, you know, Gold Coast, they're, like you say, they've got a good spread of talent. Everyone's playing their part. Everyone's making contributions. It's going to be very hard to beat.
No, that's true. I'm not sure. I probably did say they didn't sign him. They shouldn't have signed him. Not sign him, but another point guard. I just wasn't sure about that. But hey, I'm happy to put my hand up and say at this stage I was horribly wrong. I tell you what else is not going real well is the Melbourne Tigers at the minute. Their form has dropped off. They've dropped another one at home against the Sydney Kings, and some real question marks about the Melbourne Tigers, particularly down the stretch of games, not being able to put points on the board and really giving up too many points at the same time.
Well, they have, and it happened again against the Kings at home on Friday night. You know, they gave up a 10-0 run. It was a tied ball game. They gave up a 10-0 run, you know, over the last 3 minutes, and that's, you know, really unforgivable. And it's no wonder that Trevor Gleeson said what he did after the game.
Well, that's right. He labelled the Melbourne Tigers soft, and he said it with a bit of venom. Let's have a listen to some of Trevor Gleeson's comments.
Yeah, and then we cruised. You know, we worked hard that second quarter. The second quarter was outstanding. Held them to 14 points, and they scored right on the last 8 seconds or so, I think. And then third quarter, we came out and thought, you know, it's at home. We're 3 up. No, yeah, 3 up. You know, we'll win this. Then we give up 8 points easy laps, so they get their tails up. You know, we're soft like that until we really hurt and want to defend. We will be an average team.
So there you have Trevor Gleeson, not real happy with the intensity and the fierceness of the Melbourne Tigers, labelling them soft, and I'm sure he's done that to try and motivate some of his players. But not only were they soft, they also looked very small down the stretch, where Julian Kazoo for the Sydney Kings, he's a superstar, we know that, but he took complete control of the game. So some issues there the Melbourne Tigers have to address.
Well, they do, and I think that's always was going to be a factor with the Tigers. That, you know, Matty Burston's really their only true centre in terms of size. Tregar's been, you know, pretty manful holding down the 5 spot, and I really think that they have to shop hard for an Australian big to come in and fill Paddy Mills' spot.
They do, and size does matter in the NBL, Grantley, we know that. So Tigers may be looking with that extra spot now. Paddy's there to go with someone a little bit bigger, but we mentioned Julian Kazoo, and after 8 rounds you generally get an indication of who's going to be the front runners for the MVP, and once again, Grantley, he would be right up there.
Oh, no question. Kazoo has been outstanding. He was probably unlucky not to win the MVP last season, went to Gary Irvin. And look, he is the man by which the Sydney Kings stand or fall. And you can't say much more about a player's status than that. He is the man for the Sydney Kings. So he's doing a great job. But, you know, I think there's probably 4 or 5 others in the frame.
Oh, my word.
You know, probably Cam Tregar has been
18 points a game, and I believe leading the league in scoring right now. So he's bounced back under Trevor Gleeson and getting a lot of opportunities, and they're going to him a lot down low. So and shooting at a phenomenal clip.
Yeah, he's at 57.9% from the field, which is, even for a guy close to the ring, it's still pretty good. He hasn't had one game under 12 points all season, so his consistency has been remarkable. You know, De Leon, who we spoke about before, he's come in, he's averaged 17.3, and that's, you take out his first game and he had 2 points. Since then he's gone, 21, 21, 20, whatever. So he's been pretty good.
And over in New Zealand, we've got Cedric Jackson. Statistically, he's pretty sharp as well.
Look, the thing with Jackson is he leads the league in assists and he leads the league in steals. So,
Yes.
That's one out of Darryl McDonald's book. And Jackson he's not going to be spectacular week in, week out, but I think he's one of these guys, he's the glue for that team. And if they need a little hole filled somewhere, he'll go and fill it.
Well, there you have it. There's some good front runners to keep an eye on as far as the MVP goes this season. Grantley, we have a section we call Who's Hot, Who's Not? And given some of the results we've seen over the last few weeks, where you have taken great delight of laying the boots into some of the lesser performances that are going on, but that has created a bounce back result with some of these teams and players. You look at some of the people that you've laid the boots in. Aaron Bruce last week, he's come out and had his best game possibly of his career, NBL career. Before that, we had Andrew Warren.
Andrew Walter.
From,
that would be a good
coming
comeback.
back a few ways. And Andrew Warren from the Cairns Taipans. We had you had a little swipe at Cedric Jackson. He's leading the league in assists. And Ronnie Dorsey and the Cairns Taipans have felt the full force of some of your stuff. So we're actually out there in the IronNet competition. Players are really hoping that they might actually feature in the Who's Not category. Who are you going to have a crack at this week?
In the Who's Nots?
Yes, please.
Let's roll them out. Adam Ballinger of the Adelaide 36ers.
No, good.
Back-to-back games of 2 points against the Tigers and the Blaze. He's averaging just 6.2 points per game on the season at 34% from the field and 4.7 rebounds. His career numbers are 18.1 points at 51.7 and 7.4 rebounds.
Not hot.
Borgs,
not hot.
He's flat.
Here, no heat.
No, definitely not hot. CJ Bruton.
Yes.
Cold.
Why is that, Grantley?
3 donuts in the last 4 games.
That's no good.
He's averaging 8.3 points per game on 28.3% shooting. 2 of 23 from the field in his past 4 games.
Wow.
And he didn't take a shot in the win over the Crocs.
CJ, not hot.
He's cold. Stone motherless.
But look out this week in round 9. Who else
And
we got?
finally, the Melbourne Tigers down the stretch.
Yep.
To give up a 10-0 run at home from a tied game against the Kings.
Not hot.
Cold.
The Melbourne Tigers in the fourth quarter, not here.
No.
Not performing
Heat?
at all.
Not here.
Not here. Well, there's some of the not so good performances, but Adrice DeLeon is absolutely ripping the IronNet competition to shreds. He's come on and had a huge impact for the Blaze. They've won 3 in a row.
He had 25 on the weekend against the Sixers. He's averaging 22.3 in his last 3 after starting with 2 points against the Crocs in his first game. He might have got a little mention in the not hots back then.
I think he did. I think he got a very strong mention, but he only played limited minutes, and I do believe I gave him a little bit of support on that occasion.
Even though you said he shouldn't have been signed.
Well, I said maybe they should have looked at not a point guard, but I'm proven to be incorrect. We don't have to back over that. Diamond Simpson for the Adelaide 36ers has come in, and he did some terrific work when he was playing for St Mary's, and played overseas, had a year out. Now he's here in the IronNet competition. It's taken him a little while, but he's starting to warm to it.
He certainly is. Had 14 points, 13 rebounds in the loss to the Blaze. That's his 3rd straight double-double and his 4th in 7 games. So he's going along nicely and shooting at 70.2% from the field.
Wow, that is spectacular. It's unlikely to maintain that percentage.
It's pretty hot
for the entire season. But that is beyond hot. That is just what's white hot type behaviour by Diamond Simpson. Another man that's hot, and we probably should have touched on him last week, but we're going to give him a run this week, is Jacob Holmes. Now, a lot's been said of Jacob Holmes in not having a job, and a few weeks before the start of the season, got a call up to the Townsville Crocodiles on the back of Russell Hinder going down with a season-ending injury. He has taken that opportunity with both hands and just doing a fantastic job.
He is just he's just playing like Jacob Holmes of probably 5 years ago, I would have thought. He's been outstanding. He had 21 points for the Crocs in the loss to New Zealand, but the most outstanding numbers in that game from him were 5 of 5 on 3-point field goals. He was 2 of 10 coming in from the land of plenty, but he's gone 5 of 5. And he's averaging 13.6 points and 9.9 rebounds. So it's basically a double-double he's averaging for the Crocs.
It is incredible what he's been able to do, and I'm sure the Adelaide 36ers will be sitting back thinking, where was that over the last couple of years? But it's amazing what a little bit of a kick in the guts can do to a bloke, and he's come back. There's no doubting his skill, and full credit to him. A fantastic job, and let's hope that he maintains that. And certainly the Townsville Crocodiles need him to maintain that if they're going to make a charge at the playoffs. So well done to Jacob Holmes. Grantley, it's that time of the show where we take a look at some of the individual excellence that we have out there in the competition. Last week in the 24-second shot challenge, we saw a world record performance by Darren Ning with 16 straight in 24 seconds. I doubt it's going to be beatable this season, but this week in the 24-second shot challenge, we have a look at an Australian member. He's in the Boomers lineup, vying for a position at next year's London Olympic Games, and his name's Adam Gibson. Let's see how he goes in the 24-second shot challenge.
Hey guys, I'm Mark Worthington here with Adam Gibson for the It Goes Off Challenge. Gibbo, you shooting today? How you feeling, buddy?
I'm feeling pretty good actually. I've had a good training session, so I think I might get about 12 today.
I reckon he would get a bit more if we had the camera ready before practice, but that's another thing. We're a bit tired, we had a good session. How's the legs feeling?
A little bit sore, a little bit tired, but a shooter never loses his legs when it comes to shooting markers.
He's a good shooter, so let's see how he goes. Gibbo, 12. I'm probably going to blame that on our marketing people for not having the camera ready. What do you got to say?
I was on a roll, I had about 6 in a row in the first probably 6 seconds, and then started to start the shot clock. It's a little disadvantage. We've got Perra Cameron in the background and doing donkey Kong noises, so that put me off as well.
Big Mama will do that to you. 12, mate, well done. Sign off. It goes off. Boom.
Solid performance there, Grantley, by Adam Gibson, but not good enough to topple the 16 set by Darren Ning. But I tell you what else they need to do, and this is a message to all the clubs out there. Don't start an episode making excuses. Oh, I'm tired, my legs are sore. No, we just want results. We don't want excuses, do we?
No.
Right.
Excuses?
Not here. Right. It's that time of the show where we have a little segment called the Mark Zuckerberg Minute. And that's where we invite you to join in our conversation and get your feedback off the NBL Facebook page. Punch out a question there, or you can have a chat to myself on the Twitter page, Andrew Gaze 10, or Grantley Bernard. And each week this year, courtesy of our very, very good friends at Sporting, the best question that we believe comes off the Twitter or off the NBL Facebook page will receive an official Sporting NBL game ball. There is not a better prize on the web anywhere. Grantley, who's going to start us off this week?
First question is from Anthony Wadwell, who says, if you had the choice of naturalising any of the current imports in the league,
good question,
so that they could play for the Boomers in London, who would it be?
Good question. Now, of course, we'd never be able to get them through, I don't think, because the naturalisation process takes more than 10 months. So it is a hypothetical one. But right now, I think with the Boomers, they need a point guard. They've got Paddy Mills, who's going to run the point and spend most of the time there. Gibbo's on the bubble. He's a chance to make the team. But right now, in the point guard spot, there seems to be a little bit of a hole, something missing. And believe it or not, I know he's a little bit older, but so far, what I've seen of Eddie Gill, he is a pass-first type guy that can score in big numbers. So he, to me, would be one. And more recently, we've only seen him for 3 or 4 weeks, but Idriss Deleon, he is explosive and he can get to the rack against the very best in the world. So that'd be 2 that perhaps be worthy of consideration.
What about Kevin Lish?
Well, there you and actually, from my spies tell me that Kevin Lish may be more of a realistic chance than anyone, because I believe he's had a romantic interlude with one of the Perth ladies in the Perth WNBL team, and they are engaged now. So if he was to get married, we could perhaps send out an SOS to the immigration department to try and get Kevin Lish over the line, and he would not be out of place in a Boomers uniform, given where we're at right now.
That's an interesting concept, that Kevin Lish getting together with a woman would help him play for the Boomers, because it was often said that the only reason you actually got to play for the Boomers initially was because your mother was sleeping with the coach. Is that correct? Or?
That is correct. That was a rumour going around, but that was squashed fairly early on in the piece, Grantley. But that's a true story. I didn't make that up about. I believe he has got engaged, and congratulations to him. All the very best. And hey, by the way, I'm sure it was love that created the connection. It had nothing to do with basketball or Boomers or anything like that. So we wish them all the very best. What's our next question, Grantley?
The next question is from Daniel Jai Cornish, who says, which coach is under the most pressure at the moment, and who do you think will be the first one to get sacked?
Oh, Grantley, this is more up your alley. You generally have a good feel for how things are going. I know last week in the Sydney media, and it was the questions were being asked of Ian Moose Rebillard, but he bounced back with a very good win, or he and the team bounced back with a good win against the Melbourne Tigers. Bit of a setback against the Perth Wildcats, but he was one. But I don't know if anyone's really on the cusp of being fired. I would assume that Marty Clark would be feeling a fair bit of pressure right now. I think he's got a better team than his record indicates. He has had some problems, but he'd be another one that maybe just feeling the pinch. But I doubt very much they'd make a change there either.
No, I couldn't agree more. And I've added ventriloquism to my repertoire now, because you notice I answered that without even moving my lips. Anyway, the third question and the winner of the Sporting
I thought you asked me the question.
NBL game ball.
Right, please.
From Andrew Kirk. Would the 36ers be any better if they had kept Bruce, Holmes and Hill? Or would we still see them where they are now, which is on the bottom of the ladder?
They are going through some tough times. I think although they haven't been able to get the wins, I think of late their form has been a little bit better from what I've seen on the television. So I think there's a lot to look forward to for the remainder of the season. It's going to be a hard ask for them to see any sort of playoff action. But certainly Aaron Bruce, his form right now as it is very good. And Jacob Holmes has been a sensation. In fact, he would be in top considerations for MVP voting, given the numbers he's putting up. So those two in particular, I guess on their current form, they'd love to have back.
Is that a chair or a fence you're sitting on? Would they be better with them or not?
Well, it's a hypothetical, isn't it?
Would they be better or not?
Well, on the basis of what they had last year, then I think that I agree with the decision to let them go.
So they wouldn't be better?
Well, right now on their current form, they would be better. But if we're basing it on what they were, because it's circumstance, Grantley, it's not just about how they're going individually. It's in the context of the coach, the environment, the teammates, all those things, and they've found a good homes right now, don't you think?
Clear as mud. Clear as mud. But anyway, Andrew Kirk wins the Sporting basketball.
Would they be better?
Of course they would.
Right. Simple as that. What he said. So he picks up Andrew picks up the Sporting NBL basketball. Well done, Andrew. Where's now time for you, Grantley, to let us know where all the round 9 action is going to take place, so the good folk out there can go out and visit a game.
Plenty of round 9 action starting on Friday with the Cairns Taipans at home to the Gold Coast Blaze. This is big for both teams, none more so than the Taipans, but I like the Blaze to get the win. The Breakers against the Tigers over in Auckland. The Tigers, if they lose this, are looking down a 3-game losing streak, and I think that's where they're going to go. The Breakers at home for that one. The Townsville Crocodiles against the Wollongong Hawks. The Crocs shouldn't have too many problems winning that one. And on Sunday out west, the Perth Wildcats are going for their 8th win of the season against the Adelaide 36ers, while the Sydney Kings are looking to get another win at home against the Cairns Taipans.
Terrific work, Grantley, and a lot of crucial games coming up in round 9, so make sure you get out there and check out some of the action. It's now time to say thanks to those that support this program and support the NBL, and it starts off with the naming rights sponsor, iNet. Connect better.
One.
Centrevet.
And one.
Sporting.
Rent Smart.
And Virgin Australia, who do a terrific job carding all our players right throughout this beautiful country of ours. That's all we have time for this week. Check us out next week where we give a full and comprehensive coverage of Round 9 and all the goings on. Until then, it's bye for now on the world's most popular podcast of the IronNet Championships. It's called It Goes Off